Hello everyone, in today's video, we are going to explore one of the most fascinating courses in political science, which is International Relations, simply called IR. We'll talk about this course, covers the learning outcomes, learning objectives, and quickly go through each of the units. First of all, learning objectives. This course introduces students to historical and conceptual foundation of international relations. It traces how the discipline evolved after the Second World War and when new theories emerged to explain world politics. These theories like realism, liberalism, Marxism, feminism shaped how scholars understand global events and relationship between states. Over time, as new ideas and critics developed, debates within IR challenged older perspectives. Through debates, the discipline built its own identity and way of seeing the world, what we call it self-image. The course also examines major concepts such as power, state, sovereignty, peace, war, human rights. And finally, it introduces students to non-Western and Indian perspectives, showing how voices from global South are shaping the international relation in more inclusive and diverse way. Now let's look to the learning of outcomes. By the end of this course, students will be able to 1. Understand how IR evolved as a Eurocentric viewpoint to include critical global perspectives. Secondly, this approach appreciates contribution from post-colonial and Indian scholars in shaping world understanding. It analyzes key concepts like state, sovereignty, war, peace, and human rights, and how they influence global governance. You'll be able to develop a critical understanding of power hierarchies and inequalities through feminist and Marxist lenses. You'll be able to recognize the important concepts of non-Western approaches that help us rethink and reimagine international relations. And finally, we'll be able to build a basic understanding of India's role and contributions to the discipline of IR. Let's discuss the syllabus. The Unit 1, Disciplinary History of International Relations. It discusses what is IR. The first unit aware answers the basic questions. What is international relations? It traces IR as a formal discipline, especially after the World War One and the World War Two. You'll explore early debates between ideologies like realist, idealist, and scientific approaches. This unit lays the foundation for understanding how theories and methods shape discipline. The Unit 2 discusses theories of international relations. This is one of the most important part of this course. Here, you'll dive into the major theoretical frameworks that explain international relations. First, realism and neorealism, which focuses on power, conflict, and national interest. Then comes liberalism and neoliberalism that emphasizes cooperation in institutions and peace. Next is Marxism and neo-Marxism, which look at global inequalities, economic exploitations, and finally, feminism, which brings attention to gender power and their voices often excluded from traditional international relations theories. Each of these theories give us a different picture as to how the world works. Together, they make IR a rich, multi-dimensional field. The unit third, concepts and issues. This unit includes core ideas and challenges that shape global politics. You'll study concepts like state, sovereignty, and power and how power is exercised. It also covers war, peace, and analyzes how conflict occur and how peace can be achieved. Another major theme is human rights, which raises questions like justice, freedom, and global responsibility. The unit concludes with discussion on global governance focusing on real world challenges, for example, climate change, negotiations, international cooperations in works in practice. The final unit, IR beyond Eurocentrism. The final unit takes us beyond the Western world. It introduces non-Western perspectives that challenges Eurocentric dominance. You'll learn about the countries from Global South, including India, how they contribute to the new ways of understanding international relations. This part encourages students to think critically about whose knowledge counts and how a more inclusive global viewpoint can be developed. To sum it up, this course in international relations is not just about theories, politics, etc. It's about understanding the world we live in, from power struggles and diplomacy to human rights, climate change. IR helps us connect global events to everyday lives. It teaches us to go beyond borders, question biases, and appreciate the diversity of voices that shape our world. And finally, let us discuss the assessment format. The total assessment marks will be 160, out of which 70 will be made up of IA plus CA, and 90 will be of your university examination or term end examination. In 70 marks, IA will be of 30 and CA will be of 40. Let us discuss first IA. Internal assessment includes 6 marks for attendance, 12 marks for test, and 12 marks for assignment, which totals to 30 marks. The continuous assessment includes 5 marks for attendance, 15 marks for CA1, and 20 marks for CA2. That totals to 40. CA1 and CA2 could be group discussion, presentation, role play, field work, any other project. And finally, you have a term and examination of 90 marks. Total, you will get 160 marks in this subject. Thank you. And my name is Mohammed Sahil. I'm assistant professor in Department of Political Science, Bharati College, NC Web Center. We will see you in the class. Thank you.